I should also start recording because I'm probably going to wind up uploading this because, I mean, I might as well have some kind of explanation on my YouTube channel. But yeah, so I was at work on Thursday. And I got a text message. Hello, Simmons. How you doing? I got a text message from my roommate saying, "We are being evicted. This is not a drill." Hold on. Let me bring up my roommate's text messages. It's been wild because you sound different at the moment. Does it different bad or like is it fine? Do I need to adjust things? I was able to grab my microphone mixer. That's why I'm able to use this right now. But yeah, so let me bring this up. At 8:25, a little muffled. How does that sound? If I take off the microphone condom. How does that sound? I just want to make sure that the sound is fine because like I don't know what this new setup sounds like. Perfect? Okay. All right. That's better actually. Good. Fucking microphone condom. Get out of here. Okay. So, 8:25 p.m. on Thursday. I got a text message from my roommate. I was at work, just kind of vibing. I had woken up on Thursday, like I streamed that day, and like I thought everything was honky dory. And I had said that I was going to stream yesterday before work because I had an overnight shift. I was going to play games with Dyke once he got off work and everything. I'm sorry. So, 8:25 p.m. I'm about 3 hours into my shift. I get a message from my roommate. "We are being temporarily evicted. Not a joke or drill." Now, I think he said temporarily evicted with like a bunch of air quotes in there because we didn't know what was going on. There are pictures of these eviction notices up on the web. I can find them in a minute here. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? What's going on? So the gist of the eviction notice was your leases are terminated, and as of this notice, you have until 8 a.m. to get out of the building because it's going to be sealed off. They've put a fence around the entire building. They've changed all the locks, and they have 24/7 security that, on site now, stopping people from going in. So I went to my boss and I was like, "Look, I have a situation here, and I need a hand. I'm gonna have to." I said, "So what the fuck do we do?" I had no fucking clue. I called boss trying to calm my aunt down and pack up my shit. "I don't know if it's possible for you to leave work, but today might be a good reason. If you can't, it's fine, but we have to be out by 8 a.m. or we get removed." So, thankfully, work let me borrow a vehicle. I was able to go there, grab my stuff. I was able to grab like basically my entire PC kit, minus some HDMI cables, but you know what? Those are easily replaced. Those are so easily replaced. I'm not too worried about that. I was more so worried about getting the tower and this main monitor that I have set up here. The main monitor that I have set up here is like one of the most expensive parts of my computer. I won't lie. So yeah, I got my stuff out, helped my roommate get some stuff out, and I arranged for a room for the night at the hotel that I work at. And like they haven't charged me a dime yet. There's a charge on the account only so that the account stops yelling at them to put a charge on the account. I've talked to the general manager, like the boss that I was talking about who let me borrow the vehicle. That was just the other duty manager that's been training me. I have talked to the general manager of the hotel, and he says, "Don't worry about paying anything. We'll work something out later. We're not going to toss you onto the street." So I've at least got that going for me. We're going to wind up watching the video because there's a lot and a lot of nothing in it, okay? but it does. The engineer does go over a lot of the things that happened. If you are just looking for the gist of it, I've had to give this gist to a lot of people because a lot of people have been asking me at work, for example. What happened was one of the pillars in the parkade by like where the main area where people drive, the plaster around it looked like it was starting to crumble. And it was starting to come apart, and it looked like someone hit it. Which, I mean, like, it's in a high traffic area, blah, 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 blah. So what they did is they took all the plaster off, and then what they found underneath was asbestos. There was asbestos and then plaster around a steel girder. I'm assuming that the asbestos was to stop moisture from getting in and to seal it, because asbestos is like one of the best insulators you can get. The downside is that it's heavily cancerous. It'll bring you to an early grave. So that slowed things on them identifying the issue. When everything was stripped away, the steel girder, this was one of the main steel girders. It was supporting like almost an entire main part of the side, because it's like right where a corner happens in the entire building. So it supports like the main like intersection there. It was rusted entirely through. Like, it was in such a state that they immediately grabbed a bunch of poles to try and help shore up its strength, and then they welded a bunch of plates to it to try and bring it up to like regulation strength. I don't think that's how that works, because like welds are actually pretty weak. See, if it were me, I would everything that I know says concrete is a very good support. Might be stronger than rust. Yeah, but it's not up to regulation. Like, the way that they were phrasing it in the meeting was that welding the plates was going to bring it to its original strength. That's how they were wording it, and I don't agree with that. But whatever. They're the trained engineers and everything. So then this started a butterfly effect. They're like, well, if this one's rusty, let's check all these other ones here. They checked 16 pillars, stripped them, and like checked the rust and everything. Need steel bars to handle the compression. So yeah, they just put rebar into it to help it. Like, it's around a steel girder. But anyways, so they tear away the plaster and asbestos away from 16 more pillars. And keep in mind, this is after they've basically evacuated all the things from the parkade. Like, nobody's allowed to go in there because that asbestos is getting everywhere, and like, it could kill someone. So people are getting like antsy. A lot of people went down there to look. They got a peek when the contractors weren't there. So some people knew about this. Contractors definitely knew about this. Of the 16 that they checked, 13 were entirely rusted through. So some of them were fine, but 13, a grand majority of them were entirely rusted through. Then the head inspector engineer person, 13 out of 16 were bad? Yes. Like, to the point where they weren't really supporting anything. Keep in mind, this entire building is like concrete and steel construction. It is like pretty heavy duty, in all honesty. How the fuck was the building up? That's what everyone's wondering. So, that's gonna increase the loads on the ones that are good. Exactly. But, just wait. So, then the contractor got a, God damn it. I forgot to close something and now it's giving me ads. I need to uninstall this stupid thing. Go away. Fucking God, holding that building up. Hello, Sis. Sorry, you've actually missed my initial part of the explanation. I'm sorry. You've only really missed about 10 minutes, though. So, the lead contractor, the one that they they tasked with finding all of this out, he got a tip from someone who originally worked on the building when it was erected. It was this building is apparently only 62 years old. Now, I say only, but like a lot of people were like, "Oh, that's a really old building." I thought it was over 100 years old. Given how terrible a lot of the shit is, like how outdated a lot of the shit is, I thought it was a lot older. But either way, 62-year-old building. That ain't old for a building. Yeah. Especially for like where we were in Winnipeg. Like yeah. So he got a tip from the one of the people who originally like built the place or like oversaw the construction. Those steel beams that went that were rusted through, they also go a meter underground. A meter, it was either, I can't remember if he said a meter or a foot. We'll find out in the video. They go underground into the foundation to like give it stability and everything, right? So they broke up the concrete, pulled all the debris out, and checked down there. Hey there, Freeways, how you doing? What they found down there was every single one of those pillars were rusted to the point of non-existence down below there. So nothing was holding them up underneath the concrete. Nothing. It was literally an apartment built on hopes and dreams at that point. So keep in mind, they had finished that whole thing on, I think it was Monday, and then the contractor wrote a letter to Winnipeg, the city of Winnipeg. Were they initially built of steel or rust? They were built of steel. Apparently this building was like groundbreaking at the time when it was made, but again, whatever. So he sent out a letter to the city of Winnipeg on Tuesday, and a lot of people were criticizing them for that kind of move. That at some point early in the video, he had no idea what was keeping it up. Yeah. It's about to be groundbreaking. So, fuck, I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. Right now, I am running on like 3.5 hours of sleep since Thursday. I have been in between work, in between meetings with the building and everything, and like struggling to try and figure things out for my roommate's aunt. Like it's just been a hell of a 3 days at this point. Message to city. There's nothing that we can do because like the city acted in accordance to how they should act. The real people who need to be held responsible are the building owners, the company who own the building, for letting it deteriorate to this point. And the compensation we received is an absolute pittance. But anyways, where was I? Where the fuck was I? I'm trying to remember where I was. Oh, so they wrote a city. They wrote a letter to the city on Tuesday. And like, so this is where they were getting criticized by a lot of the people. Why didn't they send out some kind of a message saying, hey, we think there might be an evacuation order or something. Get some belongings together and be ready to move out or something. Or just give a preemptive evacuation notice. Because they knew that it was going to be like evacuation because they said that it was not feasible to fix the building while it was occupied. So they were going to have to get people out of the building anyway. So they let it go to the city, and then the city forced the mandate of, okay, everyone needs to be out by 8 a.m. tomorrow. I don't fault the city for that ruling, because as I have just explained, that building was held up by hopes and dreams. It was held up by hopes and dreams and was about to collapse at any moment. There was no way to prove that it was structurally sound to last even just a week. Nobody knew how it was still standing to that point. So that's when that brings us when I got the notice. The building manager should have let you guys know to get your shit. Yeah. In an ideal world. So I went there to go pick up stuff at about 10 o'clock at night. And the entire place was packed. Like, there were U-Hauls everywhere and people moving stuff out. It took a good 15 minutes for me to get an elevator because I'm all the way on the top floor. Thank God I didn't have to bring down too much. Like, I literally was like, no, I'm just gonna grab my computer, like what I need to get it going as a bare minimum, clothing for a week, and then like my Switch and my laptop. That's basically all I took. I took clothing for a week because there's a laundromat just down the street and I can go wash my clothes real fast. Oh my God. And then, so I parked in my normal assigned parking spot because like it was open and like no one's gonna park there. So I was like, okay, well I'll park here. Then a U-Haul parked behind me and locked me in. So I was stuck. I wound up having to wait there. Your hotel doesn't have laundry service? Not for guests, because they wash their own laundry. I might be able to be like, hey, can I use your laundry? But honestly, I'd rather just not create more work for the housekeepers, and I'll just pay the pity fee and go to the laundromat. Whatever. Bring my Switch, do some gaming while I'm there or something. I don't know. By the way, how does the bitrate feel? Because I normally wind up streaming at 550 kilobits per second. I had to drop it down to 3000 because the Twitch test was not looking promising at all. It's fine. I mean, I'm not gaming right now, so it shouldn't really be too... I broke one of my monitors, by the way. I didn't break my main monitor, which was the main one that I was worried about. But yeah, so... Anyone have any questions? Outside storing my winter tires. The graphics are quite good. It's almost like it's real life. Is the second monitor a crappy one or a good one? It's a crappy one. Also, it's one of my 4 monitors, so I have 2 other monitors. The picture that I took last night and posted to Discord. Hold on. Bring it up. I can't see chat right now. So give me one moment. Here. Oh. Okay. Well, this is a problem. Hello. It doesn't have my my display set up right now. Is there anything a broke person can do to help? Oh God. Okay, cool. Hey, look, you guys can see my singular monitor. So this picture that I took here, I can't see chat right now. This picture that I took right here was him finding some happiness. This is Chris, my roommate. He was finding some happiness in the moment playing his PlayStation 5 after being awake from 5 a.m. on Thursday until I think he passed out around 10 o'clock last night. So he was awake for, what is that, like 40 hours? This TV here, because we don't have much in the way of tables here, we had to like prop it up so that he could play it. That's my my like third monitor. That's the one that I used to turn around and face towards my bed to watch YouTube in bed. But yeah, that was him finding some happiness, and he just like passed out with the controller in his hand and just happy as a duck. That's great. Is Chris okay? He's okay. Now that his Now that his aunt is sorted, he is much happier. I was able to use Sway and everything to get his aunt a hotel room for 4 days, and he'll have to pay past that because like we're already getting this that we're staying in, and it's only 2 beds, so we can't have another person really. I'm sorry. I'm just. Hold on. Give me 1 second. You're gonna hear. Actually, here. I'm gonna mute my microphone. I'll be right back. I need caffeine. I'm sorry. I will have to take a picture of like this ghetto ass setup, by the way. I mean, as it is, I don't have a microphone holder, so I'm having to be like a reporter, like, this just in from Winnipeg at the... I'm not gonna say what hotel I'm at. But yeah, so the number of suites in the apartment complex is about 171. It might be a little bit less because that's their maximum. That's if they have all of the suites occupied, which obviously they probably didn't. So there was an estimate somewhere that it was like 200 or 250 people displaced. Not even fucking close. Every single apartment that got displaced has at least 2 people in it. There was a couple that have 5 people, I know for certain. So if we just do like an average of 3 people per apartment, like that, we say 150 apartments were occupied at the time. That's 450 people. Myself and my roommate make up that, but thankfully we were sorted out for the most. But yeah. I don't know why. I think it was CBC reported that it was like 250 people. Let me see if I can bring up the pictures. 1 second. Birchwood Terrace. That in. Cool. So now I can see the chat. I'll do that. And then I'm having to get creative and like move shit like around. Okay, so perfect. Pause the music. This is the video. Can you guys hear that? Oh, that's on Spotify. Hold on. I'm gonna have to turn Spotify up. That's right. I've got my Brave browser set to Spotify. I probably won't wind up playing music for a bit, so.
Order to the property owners of 2440 Portage Avenue to immediately vacate their building because of an unsafe structural condition.
You know, I can't even find the right words for it, but just really disheartening not having the information, especially if people are living here, right? Like, that's the last thing you want, is to be homeless, not by your choice, you know, kicked out and like on the street trying to figure out where to go if you don't have family or friends, and not knowing when you're going to come back in.
We panicked because we do have pets, and that was our main concern, like our bird and the dog, and we still have fish up there, so we don't know what to do with that. We have a lot of anxiety right now because this was our home, and
so this is one of the pillars that they shored up here. So as you can see, they put down some concrete blocks and welded a gigantic plate to try and help the load, right? And then I think they welded some more plates onto the main structure here to help it. And then that's where they dug down to see further into the hole.
You can imagine.
There is one shot up ahead here. Not this one, but like look at how just corroded this is. Like, they didn't finish the ceiling in the parkade. This is in the parkade. Like, it's just drywall plastered in and probably just screwed right in, right?
You know, you got I got a toddler and
oh,
toddler and
then yeah, see. So here's the girder right here. It looks like they put up posts on either side, cut out the section, and then welded this so that it wasn't sitting on the bottom here. You can see just how corroded this thing is down here. I don't know how well you guys can make it out on stream, I'm sorry. But, like, this is so corroded. Up here, it's, like, not too bad, but, like, right down here.
And in a family, right? And, like, she's crying upstairs, and it's on me as the provider.
This guy, anonymous. Who was that? There wasn't even a message. Whoever you are, thank you. I appreciate you. I won't lie. That will probably go towards helping my roommate because he's having to foot the bill for his aunt. Forgot to fill it up. Thank you, Zyke. I appreciate you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. His taint. His taint. But so this guy was at the meeting and he was echoing like this concern that he had nowhere to go. So I handed him a card for the Viscount Hotel and said, there are pet-friendly rooms. There's about 50 vacancies right now. Go get yourself in right away. And they may be able to negotiate something because of the extenuating circumstances. And he's just an absolute sweetheart.
Of the house too.
Fuck.
It's on me to provide and be strong. I have a 2.5-year-old kid. I have a girlfriend, and you know, who wants to take in like 2 cats, who wants to take in a little toddler, and a girlfriend.
Where was that
right?
other shot of the pillar that? Oh,
and not a lot of
it was
people
over
take
here.
that on, right? So.
Yesterday, the City of Winnipeg issued an emergency order to the property owners of 2440 Portage Avenue.
So this was the temporary measure that they did. These are the steel things that they used to try and shore this up so they could work on this. This is the one that they built the concrete pads and everything on with the welded crossbeam on it after the fact.
To immediately vacate their building because of an unsafe structural condition.
You know, I can't even find the right words for it, but just really
this was linked in a Reddit
information,
thread
especially if people
that
are
I
living
saw.
Here, right? Like,
and there was a shot where it showed the other plaster covered.
You know, kicked out.
The other plaster covered.
Yesterday, the city
beams. Jesus. This one? No, it's not that one. New video. Okay, this one. Look at the buckling. This is the shot right here. So you can see, I think it was this one that he was talking about, because you can kind of see that it's not straight up and down. You can see that it's buckling to the right-hand side here. This is the one that he was talking about in the buckling that he mentioned in that post. He said, look at the buckling on the concrete columns, 24 inches, I guess, from the slab. That's fucking terrifying to see. Excellent response by the city on this one. Not sure many people would pick up on it because it's not noticeable, but if you straight line it, you will see that it's racked off a bit. My concern would be sudden failure, which could overstress the other columns, which are already compromised and incapable of accommodating. I would think they're doing some emergency shoring or adding some new columns to the piles. So that's this is the one that he's talking about, because yeah, if you straight line this, it's off by quite a bit. Like, in no uncertain terms, that's about to go. Yeah, that's very true. If they hadn't found it, so I'm going to apologize. Oh, I'm going to apologize in advance for my terrible camera work. If you see here, I had to hold the camera for an hour and 19, and this meeting was packed. It was really hard for me to get into a comfortable position to see this. Lots of people are homeless now. For the most part, yes. And the biggest part is that right now Winnipeg is at an all-time low in building availability. Why didn't you turn your phone? Because it was more comfortable to hold it straight up and down. Fight me. Plus, like, it's not really the video that matters as much. I'm just hoping that it's actually loud enough. Cause yeah. We probably won't be able to hear what people ask, but I have a general memory of what people asked. A lot of it was like, why did you wait so long? When can we go get our stuff? When are we going to get more money, because this is not a good amount, like this is not acceptable. But yeah.
Just thank you for coming. There's 2 extra chairs here. I want to make sure if
you can hear the people with the mic pretty good. Okay, that's the important thing, because so this guy here, he is the vice president of the company that owns the building. I don't know why they didn't have the mayor down here, like the mayor of Winnipeg, but I mean, from what I understand, everyone kind of laughed at that statement. Hold on, let me just see if I'm in frame here. Okay, I'm in decent frame. I guess you guys won't be able to see the chat down there. That, and then I wish I could zoom in. Oh, my arm, I can already tell, is going to get tired holding this. Let me know if volume for the video is good on stream, okay? Please, and thank you.
Can someone like get down and take them? And if there's any spare chairs amongst anyone, and anyone's in need of sitting, please take advantage of that. I know that seating is limited here, and I appreciate it. So how about in the back and in the hallway? Can you hear me? Yes. All right. Thank you. We are obviously bursting at the seams, and we're it's, you know, I appreciate your patience. There's a lot of people to process, and I appreciate your patience getting in here and waiting. So for many of you who don't know me, my name is Henry Borger. I am Vice President of Residential Properties at LATCO Company.
Your PayPal still the same? It is, yeah. Oh. Quick shadow that just knocked out the light in here.
Limited.
I don't have any like actual lights on in the hotel room. I'm literally just running off of the window that's right here.
Lakewood Agencies, who is usually the entity you deal with, that they're the division of LATCO that is manages the property. So with me is Derek Mizak. He is president of Crozier Kilgore. It's the structural engineer that we have hired not only on this issue that you've seen in the parkade, but for many investigations over the years, even going back to the 90s. In fact, Derek has some personal hands-on work that he told me when he was more of a kid in the 90s, working on the balconies. So there are representatives of the city and I think the province in here, and I'm thankful for the support they're giving. I think the media is also in attendance, And Derek and I are fine with them attending. All right, I wanted to make sure all of you are fine with them attending.
Yeah. Okay, let them talk.
All right then, it's easy.
There we go.
So Derek and I are going to provide a brief explanation of what happened, and but I'm going to want more time for your questions at the end of this brief explanation. I'm going to go run through this first, and then unless you can't hear me, let me know.
We can hear you. Hurry up.
Yeah, none of us slept last night, man. We need some sleep.
So I'll start with the events of the last 24 hours. We were shocked that we received an order from the city to vacate immediately.
Really?
We wanted to make sure that you had as much time as possible
Yeah, come on.
to pack.
Okay, so this is when the entire room starts yelling at him. Rightfully so, to a point. Like, this guy is vice president and everything, right? But I don't know if he himself has the ability to call all the shots on this. It was probably an entire board that voted to do things in the way that they did. And like you can tell that he's like trying his best in this entire thing, but like everyone is rightfully pissed off, and they're just like looking for someone to shout at, and right now this guy's the one here. My roommate said it earlier today, like he is surprised that this guy did not get lynched. Because damn, the crowd in here was fucking livid.
The contractors were telling people that place was falling down.
What time did the boxes come?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
What time did the boxes come?
Let him talk. Let him talk. Let him talk.
Okay, let him talk, you guys.
This is not helping anything. Let him talk.
You're gonna hear this lady really fucking ream into these guys. Yeah, the things that she's saying are valid. I honestly tuned some of it out, and I don't remember what she was exactly saying. One of the things that she said was the contractors that were there, because there were contractors all over the building doing like regular work and trying to keep things somewhat under wraps down below while also fixing it. But a few of them let it slip that to some of the tenants that this building is falling down, which they are correct. The building was indeed falling down.
That's
good thing I'm recording.
Wow.
Because I can't. It won't be helpful to anyone.
Sorry, I moved ahead a little bit.
Okay, let's let it go. Here we go.
Stop it. The interpreters have
That the deaf woman's telling
and I'll
us.
run out of access if we can't get through this. So that I know what to do next. I don't have unlimited time. We have 2 hours with the interpreters. So can we give some time for the information to be relayed so everybody has access? Can everyone read, and let's just get through this. Let him speak so that we can figure out what our next steps are with the city.
So this lady up here, she's a tenant, but she's deaf, from my understanding. I guess she's trying to. This is what she's interpreting. What she is signing right now. This isn't what she is saying. This is what she is saying, and this is a like sign language interpreter mainly for her and anyone else who's hard of hearing. And she's saying right now that the interpreters only have like 2 hours. So if they continue interrupting him and not letting him talk, then she's not going to be able to hear the explanation that she is due required.
I would like to know what the next steps are before I run out of time with you.
So we were told at about 6 o'clock that this was happening, p.m. We wanted to make sure you knew as soon as we could. We assembled a team of LACO personnel in front of the building, as you saw. They delivered, the city delivered the order and additional information to us while we're there. And then we had to tell you, which is, I know, the worst news you probably experienced in your life. I do want to take a very brief moment to thank the employees, my employees who went through the building. This is not, these are people that have, they stepped up and shared a commitment to prepare for this terrible event. Many of you who cooperated and helped them complete this difficult task.
He was just thanking his own employees right
We
there.
also called in security, which will of course remain 24/7. A few hours after we arrived to inform you, this reception center was set up, and within hours of these notices being delivered. We did not know pretty much until the last minute that this was happening. If you haven't already, please take advantage of the resources that are being offered here.
So the resources that were being offered is basically it's the emergency response division from Winnipeg. And what that boils down to is the Red Cross is helping people find lodging and everything. And from what I understand, they're they're paying for 3 days in a hotel. My roommate's aunt has received that, but I haven't received that, sadly. Like, that's the only, that and the checks that we got. My roommate has the entire check because he needs to worry about his aunt right now. Because I'm not able to get her a better rate. Like, I don't, as much as I want to help them, I'm already getting a great rate by the sounds of it for this room for him and I. So I don't want to overstep my bounds. I already had to go down there and be like, is there any way that we can shuffle things around so that she can get a room? Because my roommate's aunt has a cat, and the hotel that I'm staying at has a few pet-friendly rooms. I think they have something like 30 in the entire building. The thing is, other Birchwood residents, the apartment are also staying here, and they scooped up those rooms. Admittedly, I had been telling Chris, book a room at the hotel. Do it now. Get ahead of everything. I handed him a card and said, look, I'm handing these out. Book a room right now. We don't have to deal with the headache later. I think he was just trying to process things, and he didn't, so I had to step in and help. But yeah. How you doing? I'm fucking tired, man. Part of me wants to sleep, but I also don't want to sleep at 3 p.m., you know? But yeah, so, like, Red Cross is, doing some, helping people find, like, hotels and shit, and, the main problem with the Red Cross thing is that what they were doing was putting people in one hotel for one night and then moving them to another hotel as available as there was availability. And that didn't work because my roommate's aunt had a fair amount of stuff. Uh-oh. I am currently dropping frames. How bad does it look, guys? I'm currently down to 1 bar, and I am dropping like about 50% of the frames at the moment. The hotel Wi-Fi is good at times, but then it's bad at other times. It's another reason why I'm recording right now. Stream froze for a few seconds. Good now. Lagged a couple, but you're fine now. Buffering. Okay, I won't play the video until I see that it's back to normal. I want to make sure that nothing gets missed. Oh. Man, we had like 50 minutes of it just being fine, and now this. I've already dropped about 2,100 frames. That's 1.1% of all my frames. Oh! Alright, it looks like I might be fine now. Drop frames aren't going up, and my signal is good again. But yeah, so we'll go back to the video now. I think he's about to bring Derek, who is the contractor, on to answer some questions.
I've been just informed that this resource center will be open tomorrow as well. I think 10 o'clock till 4 or so. Yeah. Please take advantage. I am very thankful for many of you who took immediate action following your reception of the order from the city. Moving continued through the night, and I have not been aware of any significant incidents, and I'm thankful that that's the case. As the city has shared with us, in which we have passed to you, city personnel went through the building this morning, starting at 8 a.m. to enforce the order. At this time, the city has control of the building.
So that point that he just said there is important. The landlord company, whatever you want to call them, the property management company, they're not even in control of the building anymore. The city of Winnipeg has seized control of the building and are blocking everyone from entering because, like, obviously it's a hazard and everything. Like, the people from the company can't even go into the building to try and assess damages, all that kind of stuff. No, you can't request a song for me to react to. Please go find somewhere else to be. Thank you.
Per the order, we will be putting up fencing and providing security to prevent access to the building and its contents, which include the possessions that you have to leave behind, are secure. Fencing is going up now. I know there are lots of questions, and I'm going to start. Now, first of all, I'm going to ask Derek to come up and just provide a little background of the problem with the columns that has led us to this point. Thanks.
Okay, so this guy over here, this is Derek. I'm sorry that the camera work isn't the best. I think I zoom in a little bit later on, but like, the main thing is that I just wanted all of the audio and to see like who was up talking. That's all I was really worried about. People are confused. Is this wildfire related or what's up? No, my building is basically condemned. They say later on in this that the building isn't condemned, but for all intents and purposes, for 3 to 4 months, my building is condemned and I am homeless at the moment.
I'd like to give a shout out to the emergency because there were people that reacted to it quickly.
Sorry. My name is Derek Mizak. I'm a structural engineer. I've been doing this for 27 years. We were asked to take a look at the building after there was signs of deterioration of one of the columns.
Quiet, everybody.
So he should include that. Now!
Are you done? Okay. So we uncovered one column with severe deterioration and signs of failure. It had a buckling, what we call a buckling failure, because the steel column was rusted so through that it lost strength. We implemented some temporary shoring, then followed by a more permanent type shoring system, which you can see in the parkade, and there's pictures in the news. That shoring is designed to take the full weight of the column throughout the whole height of the building. While that was stabilized, we implemented an inspection program to determine if this was a localized event that was related to something specific, or if it was more pervasive throughout the building. We engaged a local contractor that's experienced with this type of work to, with the help of LIPO, to remove the plaster and the asbestos grout that surrounds the columns, expose it so we can evaluate them. The type of construction has where the column actually extends from the top of the building all the way through below the parkade floor. And so it's founded on concrete caissons about 1.5 feet below the slab. So the steel extends.
Okay, so it's 1.5 feet below the slab. So I guess if we estimate that the slab is like, I don't know, 10 inches or something. I don't know how big the slab is, but that is, that at the end of the day, that's probably what, like almost a meter in like depth. I'd say that for a building that size, the concrete pad is probably in the neighborhood of like either a foot or 2. Slabs are usually 4 to 6 inches, but that's also for like far smaller buildings. A building the size of this, probably, I wouldn't be surprised if the slab actually goes quite a bit deeper. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it was like a foot in total, like double the size. I wouldn't even be surprised if it was 2 feet, just to make sure. But that also is a lot of concrete. But yeah, so those poles, the steel poles, go down somewhere in the neighborhood to 0.5 meter to 1 meter. For you Americans, that's probably about 2 to 3 feet. 2 to 3.3 feet. Has done waterproofing where you have to dig down to the footing in buildings and houses. All right, there we go. But yeah, like it's probably like down to that point. It is probably quite a bit deeper.
Stands below the pavement, so you can't see it. What we have found when we excavated and removed the plaster is that in some cases the columns look to be in very good condition. As we removed the concrete and excavated to the top of the pile cap, however, we saw some cases massive corrosion and section loss. And to the point where
that's important. He says massive corrosion and section loss. So that means that like some of the steel was just so deteriorated that it just didn't exist anymore. Like where they thought was once steel was now just like iron dust, like rust dust.
We immediately implemented some temporary, we implemented structural repairs to columns on the fly. This involved welding steel plates to the flanges. These are H-shaped columns, or I-beam. If you think of I-beams, although a beam is a horizontal member, a column is a vertical member. We implemented, we welded reinforcing plates on it to restore the whole section, the cross-sectional properties of the column. So the repairs that were affected essentially reinstate the capacity of the column and address that. The issue we have is not so much the fact that we addressed 16 columns, is that when we opened up 16 columns, 14 of them had
being held up by the concrete around the steel that no longer existed. No, it wasn't concrete. It was asbestos surrounding it with plaster around it. It was just steel. Yeah, like there wasn't concrete around them. I felt them. It did not feel like concrete. It was basically just plaster and like something to make it slightly more rigid around, so that it didn't like immediately just crumble upon like bad weather and shit, right? People have hit those beams and they don't really break like concrete, because like concrete does break, right? Like I have no illusions of that. But when it comes to a vehicle hitting it at like moderate speeds of like 10 to 15 kilometers per hour in a parkade, the vehicle's gonna give far before the concrete even like just wakes up, right? The beam that got hit a while ago was like it was smashed open for the most part, and they had to replace the stuff. Could have been concrete if it was as corroded as steel. Okay, that's a fair point. Like maybe the concrete was so deteriorated, but like at that point, like if they knew it was concrete and it was deteriorated at that point, then like I think something would have been done about it a lot sooner, you know? But either way, like all I can go off of on that is hearsay, or not hearsay, but like speculation, right? I don't have the technical know-how other than like what I can. Oh shit, my bad. I did not mean that. I wanted to close away from that little ad pop-up thing that tells me. But yeah, we'll
severe to very severe to massive loss of cross-section. So at that point in time, we deliberated internally, or myself and three of my senior engineers deliberated. We analyzed. We checked every single permutation and combination we could think of how this building is still standing, and what we.
It was probably cement board with a wire mesh plastered. I don't remember seeing a wire mesh, but you know what? It quite possibly could have been. Like maybe it was something like because like there was asbestos around the pillar. From what I understand, they use that to try and keep moisture. It's fine, Zygorg. This whole stream is going to be uploaded to YouTube, so if you want to watch it later, it will be available for you. And hell, there's even going to be the VODs, so don't worry about it. Go eat dinner. I might even still be here when you get back. Who knows? It depends on how long I wind up staying awake.
We could do to repair it in place, and we kept coming to the same conclusion that it's not safe to repair it while it's occupied. So that led to the order that you've all seen, and to sort of where we are today. So just I will answer questions from a technical nature. I do say that as much as you may or may not believe this was an incredibly difficult decision, and I understand how much it disrupts your lives, but if something were to happen, that would have been something I couldn't live with, and unfortunately, knowing that everybody here is safe, I can live with.
So Derek's gonna come up in just a moment to answer additional questions. And I know that you're gonna have a lot. And I am going to address a couple that I know you have based on what you heard and what is just a reasonable expectation. The first question is, what about the leases? What about the lease?
We're out of them.
So all of the leases are terminated with the city order.
One of the things that really sucks about that is that my roommate and I had just signed our lease. Like, we had re-signed our lease a month ago. So, like, it's really annoying that they're not giving us more, because we had just signed our lease, and now we were expecting to be in there for another year at least, and now we are not. And that is annoying, but there were also some people who were on month to month payments for their leases. They would sign a new lease every month.
There are no leases. Second.
Hold on. Chris, come hither. Come say hello to the people.
Hello, all.
Oh, probably can't hear me. That is my roommate, Chris. Probably only have so much liquid capital and splitting that between 400 plus. Well, not real. No, they're not splitting it between 400 plus. They're splitting it between in at the most 171, because that's how many suites. My roommate and I, we both signed the lease, so we were each on the lease. But my roommate was the only one who could claim like the money back and everything. Oh, I'm not used to like my main screen being the thing. So he was the only one who was able to collect the. Hi, Chris. Welcome to the AA meeting. You know, Chris, pass me one of my bottles. This is another thing that I repatriated from the goddamn apartment. I have 2 bottles of these. Guess what? I'm getting drunk one of these nights. One of these nights where I'm not sleep deprived. I'm drinking 2. Let's go. Okay, fuck it. Hopefully that wasn't too loud. Ah, shit. Lloyd, grab shot. Grab shot glass. Guess I'm just hand bombing it. So, if you don't know what this stuff is, this is Crown Royal Apple. It kind of tastes like very, very hard apple cider, and it is amazing. Whoa! Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm on meds and sick, so I will partake in spirit. Hope you feel better soon, Taria. Haven't you just been sick for a while? Like, goddamn. Okay, back to the video. By the way, like, is the audio fine on this? Because I can still, like, turn this up. Let me know now, because, like, they're gonna start getting into questions. And that may be important. Tell me if you guys have been having trouble hearing things. Up a bit might be good. Care. I will turn it up by that much. The audio is as fine as you are, baby. Oh, I am not fine. I am so far from fine. Oh, God. I need to go back to cinema mode. Wait, what is expand? Oh, shit. That's good.
Second question I know you're going to have is, why aren't you compensating us? So, with early termination, tenants are entitled to receive their damage deposit and the prepaid rent for the period of time after the termination. Now, I know there was...
Wait, Chris, before you go into... Are you going, like, into the bathroom? Okay. Pass me that, like, summary of all the stuff that you got in that check. Cool. Thank you. So, I have, like, the summary of everything. So, I won't be able to show it. Actually, I might be able to show it on stream. He's talking about the thing right now. So, rent residential. They what we were paying before the rental discounts, the credits, $1,530 a month. But we had rental discounts to bring it down $344 a month. So I don't know math right now. And yeah. Then there's a credited due to evacuation. Weird. We don't have any lights on. Why is it flashing like? It's getting dark. It's not getting brighter. That's weird. I imagine it's like so fucking fast. I don't think it's a cloud. Okay, so credited due to evacuation. They gave us $142 for the evacuation. That's it. Security deposit. So it looks like Chris's security deposit when he originally moved in was $591 dues. So he got that back. Early move-out charges, $11.35. I think that's the difference between what we paid, or sorry, from the 8th of May, which is when they like cut off our occupancy, I guess you could say, and then the rest of the month of May because we had paid for the month of May. And then early move-out charges. They took off $255 for an early move-out charge. And it's fucking stupid. And then deposit interest charge. Nah, I can find that up online. Better form. And then, yeah, it was like $25. Won't be able to stay. I have to put in an extra shift tomorrow. Hope the money helps. Somehow was sent in US dollar. What? Wait, you sent money? Huh? Yeah. Did you not send it through the stream donate link? Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Oh, what the fuck? Yeah, they charged interest on the deposit. Or kind of. Oh. I think I see what happened here. Sorry, I am looking at this. Oh, dear God.
Mortis Angelus cheered X500. Wishing you well.
Mortis Angelus, thank you for the 500 bits. Thank you, I appreciate it. I do actually need to check my PayPal. It's telling me that I've got money on hold and I need to confirm US taxpayer status or something. So I need to check that right now. PayPal. Log in. Ask for confirm taxpayer status. You have money on hold. Confirm your U.S. taxpayer status by July 17th, 2024 to end the tax ID hold and avoid 24% backup withholding. What? What do you need to know if you earn $600 or more for goods and services? When you're paid for goods and services, the U.S. Internal Revenue Service, IRS, considers this reportable income. When you're paid $600 or the equivalent in local currency or more, we're required to send you a 1099-K. What? What if I'm paid in a different currency? Huh? What? IRS, even though I'm from Canada. What the fuck? Add your tax ID. What is that? What? No, I'm not under US tax law. Oh, Jesus. Now it's at... I'm going to have to enter this some other time. But I did get that payment. Only downside is, yeah, now it's... So, how much... On hold. How much do I have on hold? What's going on? Oh my god. No, I don't want to confirm my taxpayer status. I want to see how much is in hold. Jesus. Oh. Kaj Singh. Thank you. Sorry, there have been a lot of names already. I can't remember if okay, you are there. I'm sorry. Sleep deprived, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna have to contact PayPal. Kaj Singh, thank you. Right now the money that you sent is on hold, so I will have to figure that out. Oh, also what Simmons sent is on hold as well. So that's some money that I'm gonna have to figure out. You have 330 on tax ID hold. I'm just gonna quickly calculate because otherwise it's gonna take 24%. 330.58 times 4. $79. I don't know. I may wind up just saying fuck it, take the $79 so that I can just have the money. Something I don't fucking know. Maybe I'll have to look into something else other than PayPal. Jesus Christ. Alright. That's absolutely fucking fun. I won't lie, like, one, I didn't consider that PayPal would have this stupid ass ruling, and two, I'm blown away by your guys' generosity. I greatly appreciate it, and I don't have words to properly state how much I appreciate it. Right now, it's just a tough time. All of the money that I got from my paycheck on Friday went towards like paying off my credit card a bit more, and then paying for the internet bill that I now canceled, and then my phone bill. So then my grandmother helped me out a bit to give me some money so that I can, if they say, oh yeah, we need to pay for the hotel room, I'll have money. I think you'll have to fill out a form with the IRS to confirm your non-US resident status. Well, thank God I brought my Canadian Social Security card. I have been told many times that I should not be carrying it around, but I have it in my wallet. Simmons, thank you again. You have yourself a good rest, and good luck at work tomorrow. I appreciate you. Again, I don't have words to properly show my gratitude. I knew it was a word that started with a G. I was leaning on generosity, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's not the right word. I stopped making them when I get my social security number. Huh. Not British either. Does he have to confirm with HMRC? MRC? Alright, I'm gonna go back to the video now.
There's been checks that have gone out today that are supposed to reflect that amount. Please double check them. These checks were determined very quickly, and they are for the period from essentially a rebate of your payable rent from May 8th through May 31st. If they are not the way you think they should be, please contact your office next week. If we're off, it's not going to be by a lot, but we understand like this is more important to get as best an estimate into your hand as soon as possible. So.
So, something that I'll touch on at some point as a question or just being shouted out is that tenancy insurance is not covering anyone on this. Tenancy insurance only covers if you lose your property. For all intents and purposes, we are still in possession of our property. We just don't have access to it currently. everything's still locked up in the building. The moment that building topples over, and all of the possessions are lost, then tenancy insurance will cover it. But like, the vice president guy, he mentions that like we need to talk to our insurance, but a lot of people have talked to insurance, and insurance isn't covering anything, and that's the biggest pain in the dick. Because because it's the fault of the building owner and not like an act of God itself or something like that. It's expected that the building owner is supposed to pay out and provide like coverage for the people. But apparently with them waving it off to the city of Winnipeg, they basically waived themselves of any responsibility in that front. I don't know the entire legal process, but there is going to be a class action law filed against them at some point. There was a guy taking names, which, Chris, you signed up for that, right? Okay. I'm assuming that like only you need to sign up for it, because I never got to sign up for it. But like signing up for it covers us for our apartment. Oh, yeah, they didn't update the names on the lease, so technically I'm a ghost and I don't live there. Sounds like everyone's gonna have to file a lawsuit. There's a class action in the works, which a class action, if you don't know, using my limited knowledge of the law system, the way that it works is an entire class of people sues the entity, and it's basically one lawyer representing the entire class against that entity, aka the building owners, and it's like that one or group of lawyers. I heard those almost never fail. Yeah, because like it's 9 times out of 10, if a lawyer takes a goddamn class action lawsuit, it's a slam dunk, and not to mention like the lawyers wind up taking a pretty good cut. But yeah, so it's the way that it works is like it's the entire class of people, aka all of the residents of this apartment building, suing the building owner. And instead, the way that it works is like instead of a bunch of different lawsuits that the building owner has to swat down, it's just one big one, balled up and thrown into their face. That's the most general explanation that I can give using my limited knowledge. If anyone knows better than me, please correct me. But that's just what I know off the top of my head. It's why you hear so many, you have been missold X ads. Missold X ad? What?
We never had it inspected over the years. So why are you?
So right now, someone is shouting at him. I think they're asking for more money, because like, obviously yes, but it's gonna have to come through the lawsuit. Which, yeah, we're hoping.
One at a time, please. One at a time.
All right, so I better stuff out. When that gate's up,
let me keep going here then. First issue is compensation. I have heard the demands for additional compensation. This is a widespread community emergency. The whole community responds. But the community members that I understand that generally take the lead on something like this, like whether a forest fire.
This right here was the biggest piss off in this entire thing. What he's essentially saying is, we're not going to compensate you anymore. This is a community issue, so now the community has to step up. Motherfucker, no, it wasn't the community that displaced us. It was you, people, negligently managing that place. So yeah, he's basically saying, pushing it off onto the community, saying, "Oh, the community has to step up to help out with this community crisis." And fucking
fire or flood, the local government and the insurance companies. We are neither of these. We don't have the resources. We don't have the people and systems. We don't have the organizations to bring that these organizations bring to bear. Before yesterday, we had a building that could provide 171 suites, and today we don't have one, and we can't provide that housing. I am thankful for the city and other governments and non-government agencies who have that have stepped up and are in this resource center. If you haven't seen their
I love that there was that lone clap with that one person who fucking agreed with him, and no one went along with it because fuck this guy.
Seen their representatives, please do. Please also contact your insurance provider if you haven't already, and that is what they are there for.
I just told you you were declined.
I don't know what your policies say, but I'm not an expert.
So I don't know if you guys heard her when he mentioned to contact your insurance. She said we were declined, and then he's like, "Well, I don't know what your policies are." Well, I think all of tenants insurance is basically the same thing. It just depends on what kind of a deductible you choose. Like, they're not covering it because it's not like an act of God thing. It's the building manager being negligent and not properly maintaining. Later on in the video, they wind up saying things like, "Oh, there's no other building like this. This is a once first in a lifetime thing." Like, that doesn't excuse for not checking up on these pillars. It's been 62 years. Steel isn't this magical thing that you don't need to check on. Especially when it's wrapped in fucking asbestos.
You're not going to insure us because it's been an ongoing problem. I just read that to you.
What she just said there is it won't be insurance because it's been an ongoing problem. The reason why the insurance won't cover that is because insurance has the belief that, like, if it's been an ongoing problem, you should have moved. Just make sure you keep the insurance going even though you don't have the place anymore. Thing is, I've been yelling at Chris about that. Well, maybe not yelling. I told him multiple times in the past, like, hey, you should get renter's insurance. Hey, you should get renter's insurance. At the end of the day, like, having renter's insurance wouldn't help us right now, but I'm hoping that when we move into the next place, because, okay, I've been living with this guy for 10 years now, and we have agreed that we're probably going to go to a place together because we're comfortable with each other, and finding another kind of chaotic living that is a goddamn crapshoot. As it was when I originally moved in with him, he was very apprehensive about taking a roommate. So, yeah. I'm hoping that, like, if he winds up being the one on the lease again, that he gets the renter's insurance. Because, like, during that meeting, he also asked someone at the table who has renter's insurance, "So how much do you pay?" And it was like $20 a month. I will pay half of that, Chris. Why would it be a couple $100? No, but there's many brokers nearby. You could have just gone and asked. I don't know if you guys can hear him shouting back at me.
It's like not brand new. It's not a sudden thing.
You can't do that.
No, there will be a lawsuit. People, are
He should have his own mic. Sadly, I don't have the money. Well, I guess maybe I do have the.
So this is not exactly the same, but it is like a flood. It is like a forest fire.
What he's saying right here is that insurance should be covering it because it is like a flood, it is like a forest fire. For one, those are fucking acts of God. That's under the classification of natural disaster. The steel beams in the foundation rotting and rusting does not equal a natural disaster or act of God. It is an act of gross negligence of not inspecting and making sure that things are all right. They didn't even have anything to seal the moisture away from the steel beams. The negligence is a natural disaster. No. To be fair, there was definitely an act of God. That building was still standing. As I like to say, it was held up by hopes and dreams. Looking at over there. Oh. Not wanting to connect? Oh, yeah. Might not be able to get around that. Are you trying to do, like, smart TV? On your, like, from your PS5? Yeah. Oh, is it declining like your PS5? Weird. Have you tried opening up the browser? You have to open up the browser and click on, like, connect to the internet. Yeah. Why won't it connect? Whatever. This guy is an asshat. You could win this lawsuit with a lawyer from the mall. You're not wrong. Like, you're totally not wrong. He is also answering a lot of questions that he really shouldn't, like, mainly about the insurance. Like, he really should just be saying, go talk to insurance. Go talk to insurance. Just deflect entirely. Because he doesn't know anything about insurance. He is saying that insurance should be covering this. He doesn't know jack shit. Sorry. Back to me.
Nothing more. It's called greed.
There is
push all the chairs and tables on the side.
It's going
Right there, someone at the table said, "Oh, there's gonna be a rumble," and I said, "Push all the tables and chairs to the side. Let's start an arena."
to take other community members to help us,
So right there, he just said it's gonna take other community members to help us. So they're straight up saying that, like, they don't have the money to help out the people that they just forcibly displaced. More than, like, just a pittance of money of, like, the money back for rent. For, like, so rent is an organized thing. A lot of people are having to go to hotels, which I think the cheapest hotel here in Winnipeg is like $150 a night, and that's the hotel that we're at or something. Don't they own a fucking hotel? This guy owns a hotel. Yes, he does own a hotel. The hotel that we're having this little like meeting / conference at, he owns the Holiday Inn at the airport. That's where we're at. The thing is, it's booked up, last I heard, because it is literally the closest hotel to the building. So everyone went there first. What the fuck? $150 a night? Yeah, hotels be expensive, man. Like, once minimum wages and shit went up, like, it became more expensive for people to employ, like, the housekeepers and shit to maintain them. So that's, like, one of the things that increased hotel fees. I don't know. Anyways,
help you.
Not insurance company.
And
Sell your house, give us the money.
and that's where
sell us your house, give us the money.
Okay, let's just get some information.
So the next question, and you raised it already, is your stuff safe while it's still in the building? Yes, it is. It is secure, it is fenced, or will be very soon, and that is going to stay. There are two questions that relate to the ability to access the building, and I'm sure they are when to get the rest of your stuff, and when can you move back. And
Just let him talk. Good Lord.
so, on those two questions, we don't know. I'm going to ask Derek to elaborate on the challenges with that. But let me emphasize that our focus is to get these 171 suites back available for you as soon as possible. That is our responsibility, and we are going to be pursuing that as hard as we can, but it does require the participation of obviously the engineers, the city who has the regulatory authority over this, and getting the construction crews to perform the work that they need to do. So Derek, could you help me out?
I have a question. How many construction crews do you have?
I love how I grab my phone. My phone keeps like not keeping up on chat. Some of the messages straight up aren't loading. Oh wow, their focus is their money-making assets. I never would have guessed. Well, one of the things that they said, I don't know if you guys caught it, is that they don't have the resources to make sure everyone is like put up and like safe. And they're turning to the Red Cross to do that because like they apparently don't have the capital to be able to support all the people that they have had there. So they have nothing in the way of like insurance to cover this or anything like that. Like I remember hearing some kind of a statistic, and it was something during COVID. If your business can't survive like going out of business for like, or not going out of business, but like not having any income for like 2 months, you need to change your revenue stream and you need to like reassess things, because with the way things are, the moment something comes up and you have access to that income, you are fucked. And that is exactly what's going on here. Mainly that was a thing for COVID because a lot of places were having to close for like 2 months at a time. But like it's still valid now for these guys because they give an estimate on how long it's going to take. They said minimum 2 months, but a realistic assessment is 3 to 4 months. Hopefully we're gonna be comfortable in another place by then. Hopefully.
There's currently one company that's been retained, and they're acting as a general contractor, and they've got sub-trades that are doing the likes of the welding. So we can't answer that right now, to be honest. We're still working through the designs and the detail. Listen, I understand you're upset, I understand, but if you want me to talk, I'll talk. If you're gonna talk over me, I don't mind going home.
Boom. That was the part where I was like, oh my god. That was the worst choice of words. He's like, if you're going to talk over me, I'm going to go home. Like, bruh, read the room. None of us have a home. Poor choice of words. Someone in the background was like, nice way to put that.
Okay, let's try this again. We don't know everything at this time. We've got a team of engineers that are working on ideas for shoring. The shoring options that we have currently involve installing shoring from the roof structure all the way down to the foundation. But we've also, which we have already worked with.
Go home? Bitch, you ain't making it out of the parking lot. Chris said earlier that he is surprised that neither of these guys got lynched in this meeting. Like, there are so many people at their goddamn wits' end. But at the same time, a lot of people who are at the wits' end are kind of older, so it's also not surprising that they didn't get lynched. What are they going to do? Whack him with a cane? Run him over with a wheelchair? Yeehaw! Hit and run, baby!
The local contractor to establish that that's likely not practical for a number of reasons. One, there's asbestos-containing materials which we would disturb and would increase the amount of work required and time required. It is also would mean entering your suites, and that we're trying to avoid. We have contemplated, or we're working on options to shore from entirely within the parkade, and we're actively working on those designs. We've got a team of 2 senior engineers, as well as 3 partners and 1 senior partner or senior engineer, previous partner, that are all working on this at this time. And so we are hoping by the end of next week, or even earlier, we're going to have a clear path forward that's going to be being able to implement it or start being implemented as early as next week, although we don't control those timelines. As far as this, believe it or not, this is the first time. If you read the news, this is one of the first events on record that this has happened. So this is new for all of us. But, well, why did we? No, there was no waiting involved. There was work that was done, and then there was an investigation period. Until then, we didn't know what was there. Nobody knew, and it was once it was uncovered, that's when it was established that there was a problem.
That's right. Like I was in there 46 years ago, and everything is exactly the same.
Okay. So from an engineering standpoint, the requirements to inspect buildings, there is no mandate within the industry to do that. And I'm not defending that. I am not defending that. I'm just telling you. So whether it happens or not is not always it's not always a mandated thing at a certain time. Maintenance is part of just ongoing things. And some of these buildings, this building particularly, has a relatively unique design, and it's been of the age that these types of conditions have not been encountered before. I've been doing this for 27 years. This is a first. So we are seeing things for the first time with some of these older buildings, and unfortunately this one was one that we encountered that has now prompted, I will tell you now, that it was prompted looking at other buildings. So this was, it was 1962, I believe, or early 66.
That's
There's a couple questions.
I was expecting older.
Like 67 years old.
It's not that old.
First block in Winnipeg with geothermal heat, and also the elevators and cables, like a lift up for a car. That's how the
Well,
elevator works.
we've
It was the
been,
first building in Winnipeg.
as we've been doing our investigation, we've been implementing repairs on an emergency basis because it wasn't safe to leave it. So that was the focus of up until today, or up until earlier this week, was to do that. At that point in time now, we have established that we can't go forward because there's too much risk.
What timeline?
We don't have a timeline.
You have a timeline. You guys started.
Sorry, one at a time.
Over a month and a half ago.
Correct, yes.
A month and a half ago, he could have come to us and said, this is an issue, it could be an issue going forward. We are willing to terminate your lease or stay in Jackson.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can hear that, but he was saying a month ago saw that this was an issue. You could have given us the option to terminate our lease early and move out so that we could have time to actually find a place. And that is honestly something that I agree with. Like, they saw the early sign mainly like they saw the signs that it was further than just like the one pillar that was like that. They should have made some kind of a statement instead of just sweeping it under the rug until literally the last minute. This, like I've said, this entire situation is just a goddamn shit show.
We've had over a month and a half to get our belongings out of our apartment rather than 12.
Okay, as far as the timeline goes, yes, there was a period of time where we saw the first column, but we really didn't know. So as far as the communication, that's not the
I would like to hear that.
Okay, can we just, there's a few other, like, I can answer engineering questions, I can't answer questions about timelines and that, because we just don't know. Yeah.
Okay, there's a couple. There's in the back. So I will like I'm going to like address the issue of like how soon. It was a very good question the gentleman in the beard at the back had. Our approach, there was not a risk when the first column is found. We could work around it. We did an emergency, like we saw the damage. We saw the damage because in that unique case, it was
right next to it.
Right. So but we didn't see the damage until we peeled the plaster and the grout away from the column.
Why didn't you do that?
Oh God.
We don't. So there's always a hindsight here, but I'm gonna say we peeled it off because this particular one looked particularly damaged on like the grout and the plaster, and we almost thought that someone had hit it. And this is not saying it was you, sir. It was but you know, it's something like we think someone might have hit this. Maybe we should open this. Because in case there's damage to the column, like a dent, you know, that there might have been a car incident. So we started peeling it off, and we were shocked that that there was so much rust on the bottom of that column that's when we called Crozier right away to come up with what do we do here, and that was one column. So you don't know why. We just decided fix, right? Sure. So then we rushed to come up with, if you saw, like it was within days, there was a concrete jacket that was put on that column.
So as you just said there was a concrete jacket put on that column that they fixed up there. The reason why that's significant and something that tells me is that there wasn't concrete in those previously. Like, they had to specifically put concrete there. Also, they specifically said that it was plaster and grout. The grout that they're talking about is asbestos. Different word for it. He said earlier that it was asbestos grout. That's what he said. So because when they peeled it away, they didn't mention that it was that there was concrete. I'm of the opinion, like 90% sure, that there was no concrete around those pillars, and it was held up by hope, streams, and steel. And then they poured that concrete around jacket around, and like because they specified that one was concrete, that sounds like that was like the first pillar that had concrete. If we look at this one here, like that doesn't look like concrete. I don't know. We can only look at like this kind of picture because obviously can't go there to go look. and like take pictures myself. But like, if that is concrete, it would be, so the beam underneath is probably about this size, right? Which, adjusting for perspective, this layer around it is not that thick. Like, it looks like it's just to keep it sealed away from moisture, which apparently didn't work because moisture got in and corroded the fuck out of it. So, yeah, that's why I'm saying that it's probably not steel underneath. Am I still in frame? Okay, Oh, cool, I can lean against this wall. Oh, yeah, I'm already getting a little tired, so let's go back to this.
That fixed, that stabilized it, because now that column's not going to move anymore. But we still can't fix the buckling underneath because all that load was still going through that column. So then we had to, if you saw, that was quite a large operation to put 2 large concrete blocks and very deep, heavy beams connected to that column, because those have to take the load of the whole column, and then we can remove the jacket, and then we can fix the column. So at that point, we had that column stabilized. Then we started looking in the other ones, and we started peeling, and some of them were bad, some of them were not. But if we quickly welded more steel to a rusted area, you've now brought it back to its original design look.
See, that's what I was talking about earlier. He says welding some more steel to it brings it back to its original design load, which is not really how it works, because welds are weaker than solid steel, right? Welds are weaker than solid steel, and it's a weld founded on rust. So it is nowhere near its original design load capacity or anything like that.
But the concern was, and we didn't find this until like a week ago, that we dug underneath some concrete, the pavement, and you dug underneath the pavement, and that's where the rust was.
A week ago. That still gives us a lot more time.
So I am going to answer the question about the timeline. We didn't set the timeline. The city.
But you had the timeline. The second you opened it,
We
started noticing the issues.
We thought.
At 8:30, coming and knocking on our door when we have children.
The decision.
Where do we go?
The decision about the timeline is with the city, and there was an expectation we had that there would be many days. But
Now, I don't know why he had that expectation. With the pillars being the way that they were and the amount of corrosion that they found on there, it was obvious that the city was going to say evacuate immediately. They knew from Tuesday that they needed to send a message to the city that they weren't going to be able to fix the pillars without evacuating any people anyway. That's what I was talking about earlier. So the fact that he's trying to pin it on the city that the evacuation was so short term is just absolutely fucking ridiculous, because the city is honestly just worried about, like, shit, there are still people in there and that building's about to come down. So they just acted to get people out. The building managers knew that this was a problem on Tuesday, which would have given us 2 more days to move everything out. You know, 2 days is better than 12 hours.
The decision to come back within immediate was one we were not privy to until 6 o'clock yesterday night. Because as I say, we were expecting something coming, but we were expecting that there would not be evacuation needed for many days. And I say this that if the city thought that a collapse was imminent, it would have been like a fire alarm situation where you would have to leave right away. There are precedents in other places where there have been but there have been concerns about structure, and they would have been given 15 minutes to leave. We started. Sorry. Okay. Which direction? Okay. I'm going to take your question right now, please. Person standing. The city received a letter.
Yeah, the quote says, this is a pervasive condition that was the overall stability of the structure in question. This is your quote. Yeah, so why did you not give us some sort of heads up on the 7th?
I was expecting the city.
So, let me summarize what she's asking because it was too quiet. I can kind of hear it because the headphones are pretty good. I don't know if you guys can hear it. Maybe I turned it up. She's saying they knew ahead of time. Why? The letter that they sent to the city said this is a pervasive issue and needs to be addressed. And she is rightfully asking, why did you wait for the city to step in and not take action yourself? And he just sidesteps the question.
To react and find out what the city wanted to do.
He wanted to find out what the city wanted to do. Well, obviously the city wants everyone out of the building that's about to fucking collapse on their head.
I have waited.
When it's a mass evacuation, insurance will not cover you.
We have an order. This is what's happened. We now have the order, and we needed. And the order is done, and so the city, and so that's where we're at.
Something that I just remembered too. There were rumors as I was walking in. Some people were talking about the resident manager knew 3 days in advance and already had all of her stuff moved out of her apartment beforehand, before the order even went out.
So I think as Derek was trying to say, we do not know when you have access. It will depend on what shoring we can put in place to provide safety. And then it also depends on the city, because the city controls the access. They are evaluating the safety of the building right now. And so that is what's, like, they have to agree. We will communicate that. If you have email, please get it to our office. We are gonna be actively putting an email list together and trying to do our best there. And if you think you're not getting enough email, please, or if you're not getting contacted, please contact the office and we'll work it out. All right, I'm gonna have to. Can I jump to someone else? No.
And that's exactly true, Yunru. If they didn't wait until the city seized the building, they couldn't shrug responsibility off to the city. Because the city is the one who ultimately issued the order of evacuation, you guys aren't on the hook at all for anything. And this is the dumbest shit ever. Now it's like the Red Cross and the city emergency thing. Like, they should be forcing these guys to have responsibility. But, I mean, that would be an ideal world, and sadly, we do not live in an ideal world. We live in a world ruled by lizard men and guys in suits looking to make a quick buck off of people who would otherwise be homeless. Oh wait, we are homeless.
Who the funk? Things getting heated.
Is there a process that we can go through, or do we need to wait for a process until they're waiting for a process that outlines how we can get our stuff?
Yeah. The city will provide the process, and we will communicate. All right, I'm gonna mark a wave. I'm gonna start over there if you ask questions, and I'll see us, like, sir in the beard and ask me about electrical code violations. We do not think we have electrical code violations. This building is built in 1962, and we've complied. So now we're. Okay, so next
When we turn off the light in the
black
bathroom, does
cap,
the whole
black
socket
cap
go out?
ponytail.
What I just said there. So something that I found out when I tried to plug a fan into the bathroom is that when you turn off the light in the bathroom in like the apartment that we had, it turns off the electricity to the entire room. If you just flick the light switch, it turns off the electricity to the entire bathroom. You can't use the electrical sockets that are in there when the light is off. Like, the wiring in that building is so fucking bad, and the fact that he's saying that they don't have violations, which may be true, but it also doesn't absolve them of the fact that the wiring in the building is just fucking god awful. It was done in the goddamn 60s where people were smoking cocaine. Wait, bathroom sockets are on the lighting wires? Yes. Yes, they are. Or it might actually be that the lighting wires are on the sockets. Who knows? Ugh. Sorry, I started getting too comfy and I could feel myself slipping the chair like that. So, I won't lie, the rest of this video is not really full of information. A lot of it is people asking the same questions, like, what do we do? What are our options? When can we expect to be able to go back in to get our stuff? What is the timeline looking like? I can sum all of this up for you. They have no timeline. All they have is a minimum estimate of 2 months for repairing the building. That's the minimum. He says a realistic is 3 to 4 months. There, problem solved. Where's the notification? God damn it. Or was there a notification and I just didn't hear it? I hope it wasn't the latter. So, 3 to 4 months is the realistic for when the building will be habitable. Oh, sorry, habitable again. As for when we can access the building, they have no clue. He goes on to say something along the lines of, we don't know when the city will allow people back in. They need to do some some setups. Oh, hey, it's raining outside. Damn, it went from sunny to a goddamn rain shower in an instant. I wonder. Actually, no. Because this is going to YouTube, I kind of don't want to pick up the camera and start showing outside. At least not right now, because, like, my roommate's in the bathroom on the phone. I can hear him. It's kind of funny. Yeah, they don't know when we'll be able to go into the building to get our stuff. Like, they discussed some options saying, like, oh, we could have structure, like, do X apartments on Y days, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, like, they don't know anything at this point, and they say, we'll keep you posted in the coming weeks. Like, okay, wow, cool, thanks. What else? Oh, a lot of people were like, what about all the food that we have? Can we go in and grab it? No, you can't go in and grab it. The building is, for all intents and purposes, condemned, and you can't go in. This question was asked 5 times, even though he said with no uncertain terms, no, you can't go in. People are fucking stupid. Look at me. I'm playing both sides of this. I can understand this guy's frustration at some of the questions he's getting because everyone's asking the same exact things that he already answered. Because, like, at the same time, some of the answers he gives, kind of shit. But he's also, some of the things that he is getting asked multiple times is he's saying with no uncertain terms, no, you cannot do this. This is not a thing that's allowed at the moment. Sorry, it's a write-off. Like, there was a few people who asked, like, can I go in and grab the food? What about the freezer full of meat I have? Sorry, like, the order is that the building is not allowing anyone. That means you're not special because you have a freezer full of meat. It's just, I can sympathize with both sides here. I can mainly sympathize with my side here, where we got relocated and this guy's a fucking slimeball. But I can also sympathize with this guy, how he's getting a lot of anger put towards him. I feel bad for the people who just did grocery the day it happened. Yeah, there were a couple people who said that they had just stocked up their fridge. Thankfully, we weren't one of those people because we don't really buy groceries. We both get free food at work, so, like, we don't really need groceries. But yeah, like, I probably won't play the rest of the video. If you guys want to watch the rest of the video, I will repost this on Discord, and I will also post it there. That is the video. It is currently unlisted, mainly because, like, I didn't want that one to, like, go nuts. Like, already there's 13 views of it for my family, and then, like, people from Discord, I guess, are other people who watched it. And, like, the main video that I want to be on this topic will be this, where it's 2 hours of me talking about everything that happened and giving a summary of the past. How long has it been? Hours? You sent me a text message at 8:30. That's, yeah. You waited an entire hour to tell me? You couldn't at least just send me a message? 8:30. You sent the message to me at 8:30. I looked at the message. You didn't think to send a message to your roommate who was at work, who could have came to help calm things? Angie. But this is all hindsight. To be fair, it'd take me an hour to process that shit. Okay, fair. Alright, you have someone on your side, Chris. You're good. But yeah, that's basically the gist of everything that has been going on for the past, like, 60-ish hours. I think 60 is 2.5 days. Because as of 8 o'clock last night, that was 48 hours. Okay, so no, it's we're getting up to 72 hours, I guess. Because Thursday night, Friday night, and then it's going to be Saturday night up ahead here. So, yeah. I need a break. I need a break from life. Thankfully I have tonight off. I go into work for a little bit tomorrow probably. Because, like, I was originally supposed to work an overnight tonight, but the function tomorrow canceled, so that shift tonight got canceled. And then my boss was like, so, you want to come in for 5 tomorrow? I'm like, my guy, I haven't really slept since 9 o'clock on Thursday, and I'm here for an overnight now. And then in the morning, I have to help my roommate figure out things with his aunt because she's getting kicked out in the morning. And, like, I'm probably not going to be able to get to sleep until sometime in the afternoon. I really don't want to come in and be sleep deprived yet again for that would be a third time that I would be well, not a third time. I wasn't sleep deprived on Tuesday, but Like, I had only had, like, what, a 2-hour nap or something on, like, when I got off work Friday morning in between, like, so I got home, or I got up to the apartment. I gotta stop calling this an apartment. This isn't a goddamn apartment. I'm too used to saying apartment. I got up to my hotel room at about 3 o'clock and I didn't, like, I just, like, laid in bed and I had myself a cry. I'm not too proud to admit that I had myself a good fucking cry. Everything just kind of hit me all at once. And in the vulnerability of me being alone at 3 in the morning in a hotel room, processing that I am officially homeless as of 8 a.m. in the morning, it all just hit me at once. So 3:30, about then I fell asleep, and then I woke up again at 6 o'clock, realizing I didn't grab the charge cord from my laptop. I'm going to need my laptop because at first I wasn't going to set up my computer. Being in this hotel room was going to be temporary. Like I wasn't going to be here for very long, but turns out like they're not going to turn me out onto the out, thankfully, because they know where my income's from, so whatever they charge, at least I can pay. But yeah, like I sat down with the general manager of the hotel, and he said, "Yeah, like, don't worry about the money. Just worry about figuring out your situation, and then we'll discuss the rate of the hotel room another time." They put a like $100 charge just to make the program shut up about the room not having a charge set. And they're not expecting me to pay anything. Like, at least not yet. I will have to pay something. I'm going to insist that I pay something because it doesn't feel right that I just get a hotel room for free. But after that meeting, and then after the sit down with the general manager and then the meeting, I came home, laid down, was going to fall asleep, but I just couldn't. Even though I was absolutely fucking tired, I couldn't sleep. I set up my computer and was like, well, I should really make a statement for everyone in my community because like this is a huge life-changing thing. And it's quite possibly that it'll be a month before I can even go back to business as somewhat usual. I still need to contact my friend about the house. But yeah, I all the contact that I've had with you guys has just been through text on Discord, and there's only so much that I can really say on there in writing without autocorrect fucking me in the ass like it has multiple times today, autocorrecting Chris's aunt to ain't. So Chris ain't nothing. I don't know when I'll be able to return. I might be able to like boot up some every now and then. I have this computer set up, but like I don't know how long that's gonna be. My friend doesn't get possession of his house until the 15th of June, and there's no telling whether or not like I'll have to like move hotel rooms or anything like that. If I have to move hotel rooms, then I'll have to. If I have to dismantle the computer, I might not set it back up again because it's tied with my Switch and everything. I answer pretty quick if I'm awake, but that's everything that I've been going through for the past almost 72 hours. And it has been one hell of a 72 hours. It's just surreal to me that Thursday morning I woke up, booted up a stream, had semi-made plans to, on Friday, yesterday, to play video games with like Zyke after he got home from work and everything. And like just go back, continue my normal routine. And then like I just got gut kicked while I was at work that we're homeless. I keep using homeless, but like it's not entirely true considering like put up in the hotel room, but like I don't know if I can call a hotel a house, a home. Yeah. Yeah. It's somewhat long term because we're probably gonna be here for about a month, provided they let us. Because like if I can avoid it, I don't want to move into another apartment building if it's entirely possible that we can move in with this friend of mine. Because this friend of mine bought a 4-bedroom house. My mother was telling me about this. He's a childhood friend of mine. I grew up with him. Like his mother and my mother were in high school together. They went to college together. They were roommates together. They grew up together. They are best friends continuing to this day. When he was born and I was born, my mother and his mother hung out all the time. We were friends all throughout entire childhood. And like even through to like the late teens. There was a slight falling out with something that I heard through hearsay and like all that, but I saw him a while ago and like he doesn't seem to hold anything against me, so I'll have to see what's going on. But yeah, to contact him about that and what's going on. I'm going to immediately contact him after I'm done. I at one point thought, oh, maybe I'll play some games today, but I don't think I have the attention span or the desire to right now. As much as I want to. I kind of just want to bed after I contact him and kind of take some time. Maybe I'll do something on Monday or Tuesday because I'm off Monday, Tuesday, and knowing me, I'm going to go stir crazy. But we'll have to see. But as far as like today's stream like and the update, I think unless any of you guys have any questions, like I think that's all I can really say on anything right now. Like I don't know what else to say. So I don't know how delayed the stream is. I don't know how delayed the stream is. Like goddamn. Where advanced? No, that's ad stats, video stats. Okay, latency is about 8 seconds, but that's for me. Got a 10-second delay-ish. Yeah, it's nowhere near as good as like when I was at home. Like at home, like hold on, let me see if I can boot up a speed test. May actually fuck up the stream a little. Test. Like the internet at this hotel isn't terrible, but it's not amazing either. Well, the delay just makes it harder to have like an actual conversation with you guys, you know? That's where I'm at on that. Oh, wow, that download is terrible. Whoo! Something too that I could also do would be to like, I don't know, play some games, friends over Discord and like record it so I can at least have something and some contact with people. Because like recording videos and like just casually playing games is totally different from streaming, because like for streaming, for the live interactions, yeah, like the nope. Please no, no. Okay. Results. Oh god. Okay, well, the connection is 3 megabits per second download and 4.5 megabits per second upload. it is not the greatest internet, but like playing games casually over Discord and like recording and uploading it is a lot easier for me to do than to do a full stream, because I don't have the multiple screens that I normally would have, which made live interaction a lot better. I'm currently relying on my phone here, which isn't even properly updating the chat, and the chat on like the sidebar here, like I have this here, which is mainly what I'm actually using, but like sometimes when I open up like a full screen program, if I'm playing a game, I'm not going to be able to use this chat, and I would have to rely on the phone, but relying on the phone won't. Let me tell you, it will not work. But yeah, I don't have anything else to say really, but I will let on Discord. If I had any kind of social media presence, I would probably post to there, but I was never good at maintaining my Twitter or anything like that, and I just can't be bothered to Twitter. I don't follow trends. Maybe that's why I'm not popular. Whatever. Who cares? I'd rather have a nice close-knit community that all love each other than to be popular with a bunch of faceless people. I just want all of you guys to know that I appreciate you, and the amount of love I get from you guys is so great. Simmons, I thought you went to bed. Are you not able to sleep? God damn, Simmons. Well, I'm actually just about to call it, because I need to contact a few things, or a few people, and my grandmother texted me while I was streaming here. I need to get back to her. And then I need to sleep. Guess I'll get back to trying. Yeah, I'm sorry, but you need to get to sleep. I recommend melatonin. Melatonin really helps me. I forgot that I actually started up. Wait. Did that actually come through? I recommend a bottle of whiskey. Way ahead of you, bud. Did that actually come through? Did Daijo Boo actually happen? Daijo. Oh, it did! Alright, cool. Nice. I thought I was gonna have to redo a lot of my sound settings. When I did this, but surprisingly, it has been very plug and play. I recommend weed gummies. Well, maybe that's for Simmons. I have tried edibles in the past. Chris, you remember my foray into edibles? We both had like half a cookie, and Chris was absolutely fucked after a little bit, and like, what was it, like 3 hours I got the dry mouth? Yeah, I got like a headache and dry mouth after 3 hours, on the same amount that Chris, an experienced weed smoker, that's such a weird sentence to say. Chris is a seasoned weed smoker. Half a cookie fucked him up, and for me, half a cookie gave me a headache and dry mouth. That's it. So like, we both had, it was the same cookie that we had, right? Yeah. So like, it wasn't even like he had half of one cookie and I had half of another. No, we just split the same one down the middle and then each took it and went about our life. And then, yeah, he got fucked up. I didn't. I felt nothing. Yeah. But yeah, so I'm gonna go contact people and start uploading this, and I will let you guys know what's going on Discord. Mainly the moment I hear back about from my friend, because I don't have any hard numbers on what that's going to be like, but I bet it's going to be a hell of a lot cheaper than actually getting an apartment. Not to mention it's a full ass fucking house. So the only downside is when I told my grandmother about where it was, she's like, "Brian, that's a bad part of the city." But I'm like, it's at the like south part of the north end. It can't be that bad, right? Right? But it's at the south part of it. Yeah. Say Ken? Ken lives in the north end. What the fuck? Man's about to get gutted like a pig. We can only hope. That's a bad part of the city. And my alternatives? True. You're also a giant. Very true. I mean, but at the same time, like, someone with a big fucking stabby knife isn't really going to discriminate who he goes after. You got a knife, like, not many people are gonna fuck with you, right? Also, like, when my grandmother mentioned, "Oh, that's a bad part of the city," I told her about a story of when I was walking home from work when I was living at working at Underdogs. When I was on my way home from Underdogs at like 11 o'clock at night or something like that, there were multiple gunshots in the area, and it was a nice area. Like the area we lived in, like that part of the city is kind of one of the nicer, like middle class areas. So, like, the entire city's going to shit. It's not just the north end that's bad. Everywhere's bad. Like, I'm going to take this opportunity and I'm going to run with it if I have the ability to. I don't care if it's in the north end. I'm going to be leaving home at like 4:30 to go to work or somewhere thereabouts, taking a single bus down a street to go to work, and then taking a cab back home because all the buses are down. There's not really going to be much time for people to fuck with me. But anyways, I keep getting sidetracked. I really do need to go contact my friend and my grandmother. So yeah, I will keep you guys posted on Discord. Thank you everyone for coming by and seeing how fucked up my life has been for the past 72 hours. Fucked up our life has been for the past 72 hours. And I will let you guys know if I can like do any kind of entertainment, or if you guys can come by and help me lift my spirits when I get low or something. Who knows? But yeah, thank you guys for coming around and hanging out. I appreciate you all, and I will see you guys next time, alright? Oh, they're playing music on the way out, but yeah. Peace, guys. Bye.